Yeah, I'm doing my hair. I love putting my little turban on. Is this equivalent to a bonnet? We shouldn't wear these. Whatever. I'm wearing it because I think it really looks cute on me. I will go outside with this on, okay? So, I don't know. Are you judging? How y'all doing? Welcome to Fun Food and Freebies, where I come to you on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday just to give you a little something that's free or low cost that has to do with fun things, free things, foodie things. Okay, I said it wrong. Fun things, foodie things, and freebie things, which all three makes you smile because they make me smile. I love all three, right? So anyway, how y'all doing? Did y'all have an amazing weekend? My weekend was, what did I do? I think I stayed in because it was raining. I don't go anywhere too much when it's raining because Houston is I'm we're really like what do they say? Um um we're below sea level. So it floods. So I'll go anywhere. I act my age, then I don't too much go out. I was supposed to go somewhere Saturday, and I was like, I'm not going nowhere. And then Sunday, I don't think it rained, but it was kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, that's how my weekend was. And I was watching track and field, so that was interesting. Do y'all like track and field? I love track and field. I like gymnastics and I love track and field. So those are two things that occupy my time. And I love me some Top Chef and Culinary Cook. Those are my two favorite little shows. But anyway, how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Yeah. So, what did I do today? Ooh, I've been in the kitchen all day, cooking things so they won't go bad. Put them in the freezer. I made some chicken soup. I made some chicken and rice. I made some chicken and rice for the dog because they always say that, no seasoning, but they always say that that's good for the dog. Yeah. So Biles be really, yeah. So made that for her. How am I doing with the dog? This is just gonna be like, I made up my own questions. But I wanted to do like pros and cons of working for 911/police dispatch because today marks the year anniversary of me retiring. So I retired. First of all, let's start. Fun Food and Freebies originated from me going places and doing things when I was a teenager. I was essayed, and this community center would take me places, i.e., Michael Jackson concert. Isn't that ironic that now I'm making this like I'm sharing my story more and more? The Michael Jackson movie has come out. I haven't seen it yet. I need to mark a date when I'm going to go see it. But anyway, um, this community center would take me places. Michael Jackson concert I went to twice for free. Let me find those tickets. Y'all think I'm lying. I know you do. But I went to the Michael Jackson concert. I learned how to swim. I learned how to skate. I went um to the Galleria Mall, which is our mall here, our real popular mall for the celebrities. Go to Galleria Mall when they come here. I keep looking at something because something's flying around, or it could be just my eye. No, something is flying around. Okay. So, I learned macrame. I learned how to macrame. I learned ceramics. I did a lot of things with this community center, and they brought so much joy to my life. And I always say that God put that place in my life for a reason because, yeah, I wanted to take myself out of here several times. But I always go back to how that place made me feel. I don't know if you guys heard Oprah say you always remember how people make you feel. Well, I always remember how this place made me feel. You don't really remember anything else, but you always remember how people make you feel. Well, this place made me feel so much joy, so much happiness. But we would go so many places all the time. I was in a fashion show before. I was dancing drama. We used to call it drama. We didn't call it theater. But yeah, this place just brought so much joy to my life. So I would do things after a while. I would do things after I got out of the military, because when I went to the military, I would do stuff when I was in the military too. But I went to Seoul all by myself. Yeah, so um I would just do things because I just love going places, learning new things, doing new things, trying new foods. Not everything, because I never tried kimchi, but I did eat some yakimandu. Now that's good. It's like a dough. No, some type of fried, but it's got like boudin stuff in the middle. So good. Yakimandu. But anyway, I would do things with my kids. When I got out the military, I had kids. I would do things with them. Yes. So that's my story. I always say that God put that place in my life for a reason, saved my life. But anyway, so after the military, I I went to one job, which was, I guess this is just like a backstory. I'm just telling y'all a little bit about myself. So I went to the Lighthouse for the Blind. I was on the trajectory to be a teacher, and I wanted to be, they used to call it SPED, but they don't call it SPED anymore. They call it, what do they call it now? Special education. They call it, oh dang, I don't forgot what they call it now. But anyway, I was on that trajectory. So I started working for the Lighthouse for the Blind. I have something in my mouth. The Lighthouse for the Blind. And I worked there for a minute. And then I cannot do this. Okay, I had to get something out of my mouth. And I couldn't do that on the camera. But anyway, so I worked for the Lighthouse for the Blind. They didn't pay very well, but it was a very interesting workplace. Okay. I worked with special needs. That's what they call it. Remember, I was trying to, special education is what they would call it, but now they call it special needs. So that was fun and entertaining, but they didn't pay very well. Yeah. So I moved on because I needed some money because I wanted to have kids, and I wanted a house, and I was married. So I always knew, hey, the city pays well. Let's go and work for the city. So that's what I did. I always knew that the city had pension. My grandfather worked for the city. So I was like, the city got pension. That's all I knew. The city got a pension. They don't have pensions too much anymore. It's not that many places have pensions anymore. They basically have 501, 50, 501k. Yeah. I couldn't think of that one. But yeah, so I got out the military, wanted to have kids. So I went ahead and worked for the Lighthouse for a couple months, and then I started working for the police department dispatch. So during this time, dispatch, most people think of dispatch 911. Okay. 911 and the police department used to be combined. Okay. So when you would go and work for 911, you were actually working for the police department. But it really wasn't 911. Kind of confusing, right? So 911 was really a separate entity, is what I meant to say. Okay. But the 7-digit number for the non emergency number for police 911 would practically just say, do you need police, fire, and ambulance? And if you need a police, they would transfer you to the police department. Okay, so let me correct that. So 911 was separate, and then the police department had what they call call takers and dispatchers. So the call takers would take police calls. 911 just did, do you need police, fire, or ambulance back in the day? Okay, and they would transfer you, and most people would be like, why are you transferring me? And I called 911. But yeah, they would transfer you to the police department, or they would transfer you to the fire department. Well, they streamlined it and tried to make it one. Okay, and then they went back because for some reason 911 civilians pretty much can't really tell officers what to do. This is what they would say. Okay, so they decided to streamline it and made 911 its own entity, but they would also start taking emergency calls and non-emergency calls for the police. And then you have the fire department have their own dispatchers. So you got fire department dispatchers, 911 dispatchers, and then police dispatchers. Okay? That's the way it goes for the city of Houston. Every department within the United States could be different when it comes to 911. They could be together or they could be separated. So we're pretty much separated. So anyway, I started working for police dispatch, but I would take calls from citizens as a call taker. So that's what they call it, call taker. If you go and look for a job, they pay well. That was one reason why I started working there. And it was interesting to me. I was like, what? I can work for 911. And when you don't know the process, it's like really intriguing. So I started working for them. Took them about 6 months for me to get on. During this time, they did a little background check, not too much because I was in the military and I had just got out the military. So it was like an easy transition. They hired me and it was like, oh yeah, this is your interview. And my interview was nothing. It was like, I got dressed up, no interview. I was like, what? Yeah. So it's a little more difficult now. They give you a polygraph test and all kinds of stuff. I didn't have a polygraph. But anyway, 911 became a call taker. Started taking calls. Actually saying, Houston Police Department. They don't do that now. You have to go by a script. So, yeah. The computer tells you what to say. And you have to go by the script. So, anyway, 911 being separate, you get paid more if you're a dispatcher. So, call taker, dispatcher. So, I transitioned from a call taker and went to dispatching. Dispatching pays more. And when I say pay more, that's a pro, okay? You get paid about $23 an hour. No experience. When I first started, I want to say I made $15 an hour. And minimum wage was like $5 and something, maybe 7. Yeah. So 20 some dollars, or 17 starting off, and then as you went on, you get your longevity pay. You get your, if you work at night, you get your uh, shift differential. You get all kinds of benefits. Okay, so I guess that could be a pro. Because I wrote down some pros and cons. I'm gonna try to keep up with them. But so 911, I was like, what? Okay, what do I do? And then I love typing. ASMR, I love hearing the keyboard. I love hearing typing on the keyboard. I fell in love with that noise. That noise. I don't know. I took typing in middle school and then I took typing in high school. Yeah, we had typing back then. So I was in office education. So I took typing, love the sound of a keyboard. So I increased my speed by typing. So when I would take calls, you know, I'm taking calls by what the caller is saying and I'm typing. You're looking at the keyboard. You're not looking at. My typing teacher was like, do not look at your fingers. So look at the keyboard. Love that noise. ASMR is real when it comes to typing. Love it. But yeah, so 911. Then I went to dispatch. Dispatching is when the officer arrives on the call, you will hear the dispatcher talk to the officer. So dispatchers, call taker, 911, police, information. They get all the information that's needed, address, phone number, name, da 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 da. What's going on? That's a 911 call taker. Okay? What's going on? Then they take the information, the computer sends it to the police dispatcher, the correct dispatcher for the different areas. So you take the call. I tell the officer where to go. That's what a dispatcher is. So I tell the officer where to go. I tell him what's going on, where to go. I pick the officer that's going to go to the call. That's what makes a dispatcher job a little bit more intense than a 911 operator or a 911 call taker or a police call taker. So that's what makes it a difference. If you have questions, be sure to put them in my comments. Let me answer some questions. If I'm confusing you, let me explain it a little bit in the comments, okay? But if you don't understand, just if you watch 911, they explained it in one of their episodes. I used to watch it a long time ago with Angela Bassett in there. I don't know if it still comes on. But anyway, the dispatcher tells the officer where to go. So when the officer is talking, he has a radio on his shoulder. You press the button, dispatch. Dispatch, that's me. So I run people, I run names, do name checks, I do address checks. Dispatch, I need a K9. They'll tell me, need a K9. The helicopter, they call it Fox. So need K9 and Fox. Got someone on the ground. Okay, where you at? Da, 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 da. Okay, I need units to check by with him. Da, da, da. So there's a lot of lingo associated with being a dispatcher. So the lingo, I need someone to check by with him. Check by means go by. I need another officer to be on the scene with him. I need a supervisor. So I do all of that. I'm telling him, and I'm dealing with maybe 30 officers, okay? So you look at the call code. Call code tells you what type of call it is. So this is how I determine if I have a shooting in progress. I don't know if I was supposed to say that on YouTube, but if I have something in progress, those calls need to get out. I need to have a unit on that call in 1 minute. Okay? And I believe the officer has to get there in 1 minute. It's supposed to get there in 1 minute. Anything in progress, 1 minute. I have to assign someone to that call. Stressful. So that's a con. Highly stressful. Highly, extremely. You would not believe how much stress that will accumulate. Yeah. So you have to get the call out. Anything in progress could be considered a code one. So code means the priority for the call. Okay, so priority, code 1, code 2, code 3, code 4, code 5. Okay, so like maybe a burglary of your motor vehicle that occurred last week. That's like a code 5. I don't know. If there's a lot of code 1s and 2s, meaning high priority. Anything in progress is a code 1. Anything just occurred but could escalate could be considered a code 2. Okay, so maybe a code 3 would be that as well. Accidents, major accidents are considered code 2s. Sometimes you'll see the fire department on the scene before you'll see a police officer because the dispatcher has to find an officer to take that call. So the dispatcher looks at the call code. Call code means what type of call it is. So if you can remember three, I'm just putting a number, 300. Maybe that's a code 3 disturbance. 300 is a code 3 disturbance. If that unit is out there with somebody else, another officer, then hey, are you still needed out there? Maybe it's under control. Maybe it was a kid acting a fool, 7-year-old kid acting a fool. Hey, need you to take this code 1. Need you to take this code 2. So that's how that goes. I determine, as a dispatcher, you determine what unit you're going to send to what call. Okay. Depending on what he's on, what he's doing. What is he doing? Is he chit-chatting with other officers? Is he on lunch? His lunch is cut short if I have code 1s and 2s. Yeah. He has a short lunch that comes with the job, okay? He has a DOA, DEAD on arrival, DOA. They don't like those, but they have to sit on the call for a while, okay? So when there's code 1s and 2s, situations may require several officers to be there. It's not up to me. It's up to the protocol. It's up to the rules that we have to abide by. So if you see a officer go through a red light, he was possibly supposed to be on a call. Not all the time. It's him blowing through a red light, switch his lights on, go through the red light. Not all the time, but sometimes if I had him going to a call and he was supposed to be there because he was chipping, maybe he was talking to his girl or something like that. I mean, these are humans. These are men. These are women. These are humans. So they may do a little something, let me, talk to my girl, da, 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 da. And he was supposed to be en route to that call that I had sent him already. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to him. I can see him on the screen. What are you doing? You've been at 7-Eleven for a minute because maybe he went to the restroom. These are humans. They have to go to the restroom. So woman might have that time a month. She's still a woman. Still have to go. And then you have to make sure, hey, I don't know how they do it. Because I never really asked anybody. I need to ask somebody. That'll be funny. But, that time of month. Can't just go to 7-Eleven and be like, can I use your restroom? Some people may, but yeah, you don't want to be caught in that compromising position, right? So you may go to the station to go do that. I've had somebody tell me, hey, bumping means I'm calling your unit number. That's another thing. Most people are under the impression that we know the officer, their race, their name. No, all I know is his unit number. I don't know his name unless I actually dig deep and have to put in a certain command on the command line that, to find out who he is. I don't know him from Jim Joe. No. I try not to know officers because there's a sense of favoritism when you know that, good looking dude. Oh, I'm not going to send you to that call. I'm going to send somebody else. Yeah, people do that. They human. They do that. I don't do that. I don't know you. I don't know you from Jimbo. I don't know. I don't know. I go by unit number. Can you send me a black cop? I don't know who's black. Sometimes you can tell by the way people talk, but not all the time. And I'm not gonna sit here. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I need to get calls out. That means I need to get officers on calls. That means it's less time that you waiting for an officer because me as a dispatcher is taking care of the situation. I'm not allowing you to tell me that you not going to that call. Da, da, da. Okay, supervisor, sergeant, need a sergeant. This officer is giving me a hard time and he needs to take this call. Yeah. So anyway, SOP, we go by standard operating procedures, things like that. You do need to know a little bit of the law. Like, say for instance, most people say, I just got home and my house was ROBB, ED. That's no such thing. ROBBED is someone having a, a weapon. I don't know. See, I don't know all the words I can say. Someone having something and they're there with you. That's considered a ROBBED. Am I explaining that right? So it's they have something. Maybe KNIFE, maybe GON. Yeah, they're there and they just did that in your face. But if you come home, no one's there, that's a burglary. That's not a ROBBED. And most people say ROBBED. So anything with possibly a weapon or the suspect being there is considered, there's force involved. Force or WEAPON. Trying to spell these things. If there's a WEAPON, then that's considered an ROBBED. Okay. Y'all got it a little bit, kind of. But yeah. And then a theft. Someone took my purse and I don't know who they were. That's a theft. And that's not a high priority call at all. At all. So, but a ROBBED, if the person is right there, they use force of some type or a WEAPON, then that's considered a ROBBED. Did I spell that right? ROBBED. I think I spelled it right. It's been a minute. So, but yes, okay, so that's the interesting part of the job. I just gave you a little excerpt that was kind of long because this video like gonna be like 30 minutes. So I wrote some pros. Pros, pay, seniority. Seniority means how long a person has been on the job. So if you got on the job yesterday and I've been there 5 years, I have seniority over you. So it's almost like, just like they're a freshman and I'm a senior. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So seniority. And when seniority determines what position you're going to sit on, if you're going to sit on the rough side of Houston, Southeast is the rough side, kind of. That's the MLK and all of that. They have major crime over there. Okay, they have a lot of stuff going on, and they don't have enough officers. North Shepherd, the fofo, yeah, they can be a little hectic too. Okay, so that's North Freeway and yeah, Little York area. So fun times, fun times. But yeah, so the position you sit on is determined by seniority. Your vacation is determined by seniority. So everything is pretty much determined by seniority. So that's another pro. Additional time off. So they have this book literally called a red book. It's red. And they let you take off additional in addition to your vacation. Everybody gets 2 weeks of vacation, but you have an additional time off. So I think that's a police department thing for the city of Houston. It's called a red book. You can just request time off if the book is open, and meaning if it's a holiday, you can't get the holiday off. That's not the way that works. But any other day, 369, 90 days in advance, you can request the day off. Like 90 days in advance, I want my birthday off. Oh, that's another thing. They start giving you your birthday off as long as your birthday doesn't fall on your off days. Okay, got it? So that's a good pro. That's a good pro. There's a pension, like I mentioned. Camaraderie. The camaraderie is amazing. Amazing. The officers could be amazing. Some of them could be, they're humans. Yeah, they're humans. So they can be BUTT heads. Yeah, they really can. Yeah. So even your coworkers can be BUTT heads. Okay, so I wrote negative could be your pay. Why is the pay a negative? Because you could be in a higher tax bracket because the rollover, people don't stay around too much, especially these youngsters. Who's gonna stay around for 30 years? So 30 years is how long I stayed with dispatch. I was 30 years, y'all. 30. Yeah. So that could be a negative. You only getting 2 weeks vacation could be a negative. So pay is good, but the seniority, the turnover rate is extremely high. Highly stressful. That's another negative. You work during a crisis, hurricane, tornado, uh, heavy rain sometimes. Yeah. What else have we had? If there's a maybe a celebrity, I've been there 30 years. I didn't see him, but there were only two celebrities, pretty much celebrities, that came to the job in my 30 years of working there. Matthew McConaughey came. I worked on night shift, so he came during the day, of course. And then Kamala Harris, she came. Yep, yep. So sometimes you can get to meet some celebrities, sometimes not. Yeah. Work during a crisis. What's another crisis? I guess when we had the Super Bowl down here, yeah, that's not a crisis, but it's an emergency situation. So that was another time. And let me see. Sometimes they treat us like officers. That's a negative to me. I'm a civilian, but I have to read some emails relating to officers. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes they treat us just like officers. We can have an IAD complaint. IAD, like I'm a civilian. Why y'all calling IAD on me? The officers can make a complaint against you. Supervisors are civilian and sergeants. Yeah, sometimes that can be something else. Like I said, manpower shortage, highly stressful. I don't recommend 911, police dispatch, or dispatching job, period, if you have kids. Because you have to leave the kids when there's a emergency situation. So if there's an emergency situation, no, no ma'am, no sir. Um, you have to be there. So you have to find adequate daycare. So I don't recommend. I'm not saying that they won't hire you, but I'm just saying you're gonna have a hard time, coming to work all the time. They are big on coming to work. Yeah, you will get fired. um, Police department kind of lenient though. But yeah. But you will get fired if you don't come to now. Yeah, they will fire you. You have to be at work. Crisis averted, no matter what. You have some emergency time, but they don't depict how much time you have. You have some baby time. They do have maternity leave, which is amazing. What job do you know has maternity leave? And they pay you for it. Yeah. So, a couple of people, I call it baby leave. We didn't have baby leave when I started. We didn't have nobody's baby leave. I had to use my own time. But yeah, so I guess those are kind of all. I mean, I know this video could be long. This could be extremely long because I can talk about dispatch for a long time because I was there for 30 years, right? But it was rewarding in some aspects. I'm not gonna say that I really, really loved it. Paid the bills. Paid the bills. I was able to spend time with my kids because I worked at night. I would spend time with them during the day. And because I had seniority, I was able to get days off are determined by seniority as well. But yeah, I miss them. I try to go see them at least once or twice, once every 2 or 3 months. So I might go see them sometime this week. I go by there. Hey, I got some stuff for y'all. Yeah, I'm always giving them stuff. Like, so I have some chips, 2 boxes full of chips that somebody gave me. So I'm giving it to them because I can't have all that salt. But anyway, so that's a real good breakdown of 911 police dispatch. Yes, 30 years. So the reason I did this video is because it's a year today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. May 3rd marked a year that I've been gone and retired. So that was rewarding. It was fun. Yeah. I have stories, not very many, because I try not to take a lot of stuff home with me. I try not to remember a lot of stuff. Yeah, it could be daunting. It could be depressing to hear a lot of negative things because that's all you hear. It's 911. It's police. You hear a lot of negative things. I would have to tell y'all some stories though about the officers. Yeah, that's interesting. But the video is going over too long. It's gonna be like 40 minutes. So thank y'all for joining me. Okay, see y'all Wednesday. Let me see. What was I gonna talk about Wednesday? I guess my 5 favorite free events. I'm gonna do that on Wednesday. I'm 1 away from 50. So I'm going live on June 1st to celebrate my 50 subscribers. I hope y'all join me. So it'll be a facial. We're gonna do a facial. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff like a self-care day. I think that'll be enjoyable. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for being on this ride with me with my YouTube channel. Okay, bye.